It's the Yeah We Know podcast. The Rock is back.
Yeah,
WrestleMania is just around. I went too early. Damn it.
Do you want to know the next match between Ludwig, Kaiser, and Giovanni Ribsy?
What would be season after? One not good in the can.
Pronunciations. Do you know them? Chris doesn't.
That's right. If you were a fan as a kid or if you're a fan now, join us every Tuesday night for all that's hot in the WWE.
Hi, my name is Van, and you're listening to my daddy's podcast, The Morgan You Know.
Love the show, and you should check out my buddy Rod Morgan's pod, The Morgan You Know, as I'm confident he's primed to make some waves on the scene.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of the Morgan You Know podcast. My name is Rod Morgan. I'll be your host. Joining me is my co-host in life and my co-host on this podcast, the Mrs. Morgan You Know, Kate. Kate, hello.
Hello.
We are back. We are here to do something fun. We are here to do something that I just created one night when I was sitting around thinking of podcast ideas. We've done drafts. We've done dream teams. We've done fantasy bands. We've talked about TV shows, movies. And so we've even ranked game shows. So I thought, why not come up with my own game show? Stephen A. Smith, you were thought of. The Ringer's hottest take, you were thought of. Both things kind of factor into how we came up with this game show. But I needed help, and I looked no further than the executive producer of this podcast, the executive producer of every other podcast here on the network, and he is the host of our wrestling podcast, Jim Riska. Jimmy, hello.
Hey, that's me. Yes, it is Jimmy. I am the host of the Yeah We Know podcast. You're in the ring with Jimmy, Chris, and Rod. And, well, today I'm going to be a game show host, kind of. I am going to be judging two of our, let's say, biggest rivals on the podcasting network. We have Rod. We have Chris. They're going to go at it. I've got some random takes that I want to hear from them, and I'm sure they're going to be very good. I couldn't think of anyone else I'd rather have on the show right now than Rod and Chris fighting over each other. However, I may not be the most neutral of parties here. Rod and I go way back, so I want to bring in more neutral people to judge. Kate, Rod's wife, will be here, and, which in her defense, I think she likes Chris more than Rod anyway. And then, of course, the person who can push buttons more than any person I know. Corey Nance is here. How are you, Corey? Live from a barn, apparently.
I am in an undisclosed location in the wilderness right now.
Okay, so this is going to be pretty easy here to judge. I'm going to give Rod and Chris a topic. Okay, Chris, pick a number between 1 and 10. You lost. Rod goes first. All right, here we go. I'm going to give Rod and Chris a topic. We're then going to score them on how well they presented their case. And how are we going to figure that out? Well, we're going to figure it out just like this. We've got a little scoreboard. We've got Chris. We've got Rod. It's 0-0 right now. And I want to do just kind of an opening segment, should I say, just kind of a batting practice, if you will, for our balls and bruises.
Warm-up take.
Okay?
Warm-up take.
So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to give Rod a topic, and I want him to give me his take on it. Then Corey, Kate, and I are going to judge him on that. Then we're going to give Chris that exact same topic. Sound fair? Great. It has to be. I'm in charge. And for those of you listening right now on YouTube, watching on YouTube, listening on X, or on Facebook, throw some comments, questions in the chat. We'd love to hear it from you. So, Rod, very timely, very easy, softball to you. Daylight savings time. Go.
Ooh, daylight savings time. I'll tell you something right now. I'm in favor. I'm in favor of daylight savings time because essentially you save daylight. You get more opportunities to do things in the daylight. I'm a big fan of things that actually do what they do, and their title lets you know from the start what you're getting into. I like daylight savings time.
All right, Chris, daylight savings time.
Yeah, tell me what we're saving here, all right? Because it's not time, it's not daylight. It's you get the same amount of hours in a day, no matter what we do. You're not saving nothing. Toss it out the window.
All right. So, Kate, you heard Rod. What do you think about Rod's daylight savings time? He's for it because it's exactly what it says he does.
That is a ridiculous take, man.
I think that's a
We need
negative
to
one.
go-
I think that's another negative.
I agree. That is a negative one. And here's why, because I think Chris got it, although I wish you would have expanded on it. Although I'm not sure how you do, because he's just right. Like, we're still getting the same amount of daylight. Like, we're still getting that, but we're losing an hour in the spring, and I hate it so much. And I hate that it's not on a Monday and that it's on a Saturday night into a Sunday. And I expected more on the first take.
Time is only what you feel, okay? Time is only something that you feel based on things that you have been already pre-programmed about a clock and all of the above, right? You have a normal operating time.
Doesn't exist. Oh no.
You have a normal operating time for regular business throughout a day, and during daylight savings time, we adjust that sunlight for you.
Over
No, you
under on
don't.
Chris.
It doesn't
Chris
change
doing some
anything.
conspiracy.
It does. It clearly does.
All right,
No,
Corey.
it
Here's
doesn't.
the thing. Corey, I need to hear you. What do you think? Oh, wait, no, first of all, before we get to Corey, Kate, how many points should Rod get for his take?
I mean, none.
Okay. How about Chris? How much do you think Chris should get for his take?
I'm happy with the follow-up from Chris. I would do 5 on Chris.
Chris gets 5 there. All right, Nance, let's do it.
All right, so here's the thing. Where I live, switching time zones anyways, and then you add on another screwy time thing, and plus I get up very early in the morning, so the daylight in the morning doesn't bother me,
Okay.
and it just, so I can't really agree with Rod's take. It needs to go away, so give Chris 5 from me also.
Wow. See? So right there, Rod, right now, if this actually counted, you'd be in trouble. You'd be in trouble right now, bud.
That's okay. Listen, I'll play from behind, right? I'll make that valiant effort, and I'll wow the crowd at the end when I come back with that final take, right? When I have perfected, I have had my failures, and I have come back and I knock it out of the park at the end. I got no problem with that.
And I understand Corey is in the barn right now. And for the past 18 and a half minutes, his audio has been fantastic. But that 30 seconds, it was a little jumbled. That's okay. That's what we do here in the Morgan. You know, we appreciate you, Corey, for sure. All right, let's start this off. We're going to give Chris the opening argument. As soon as Chris is done, we're going to go to Kate. We're going to go to Corey. And we're going to see who has the hottest take. Chris, electric cars.
Okay. Yes, they should have been here 100 years ago when we invented electric cars 100 years ago. All right. This is not something new, people. They've been here. We didn't believe in them and threw them out. We even tried to bring them back in the 90s. Chevy had a good electric car here in the 90s with the Volt. And for some reason, we decided to get rid of them. All right. The technology's been here for a long time. We need just to have the infrastructure to have more charging stations available at gas stations. Like, let's get the infrastructure in place. Let's start pushing this out.
Infrastructure bills on the Morgan You Know podcast. We like that. Thank you, Chris. Kate, let's go to you. What do you think about Chris's very well-researched, apparently, electric car take?
I totally agree with that. And I'm curious to see where Rod goes with it, because I don't think he's going to completely disagree, but I think he could expand on it. So I'm a little hesitant to give points just yet. But I definitely agree with everything that Chris had to say.
I like that. Mrs. Morgan, you know, changing the rules as we go. We'll do points at the end. I get that. Nonverbal communication is verbally communicated. I like it. Corey Nance, what do you think about Chris King's argument for electric cars?
I think he's right on the money with it. The technology's been around for a long time, and if you think about it, at one point we had steam engines doing a lot of stuff. So if you could apply today's technology and research and funding and stuff into that kind of stuff, it seems like there's something there. There's got to be a better way. So I'm with Chris 100%.
All right, we are with Chris 100% so far. Rod, you got a ladder to climb here, bud. What do we got?
I don't understand. I didn't think we were having an issues debate here. I didn't think Chris and I were coming on here trying to say the positive and negative virtues of certain things. I thought we were coming on to have takes and be entertaining and drop actual knowledge on people. I'm not here to debate electric cars with Chris. My take on electric cars is fine. You can have all the electric cars you want, but they're not going to get very far. and we're not going to be able to have the ability to easily charge them. I don't care what you want to talk about infrastructure, build the charge stations. Have you looked around at gas stations? Do these seem like people with deep pockets rolling? They're going to be able to change over their gas stations in a heartbeat? Certainly doesn't seem that way to me. You got nasty restrooms. You got pumps that barely work. Nothing's going to happen where these gas stations that we rely upon right now are all of a sudden going to become these beacons with new, shiny new electric charging stations sitting right there. It's not going to happen. And are they going to get subsidies from the government? Forget about it. Nobody's paying more tax dollars so you can get more charging stations. Electric cars are not feasible. But that's not what I thought we were doing here anyway. I thought we were all going to get different takes and we were going to be judged on our ability to spontaneously be coherent. I didn't know I was supposed to argue issues with a conspiracy theorist wacko.
Let me jump in here real quick.
Wow.
Let me jump in here real quick. I gotta say, Rod is not wrong in anything he said, but he did this game exactly right. If you guys don't give him points, that is perfect. I know he doesn't think he's arguing about politics or whatever, and he doesn't want to do that, but that was the exact right way to respond to what I said. Because he broke it down and he was hot, he was fired up. Give that man some points. I hate that I'm saying this, Rod, but you earned it there.
Well,
Listen.
everything. Go ahead.
I mean, you literally just admitted defeat right there. If I don't sweep this category now with mountains of points being thrown down upon me, you judges are fraudulent.
Speaking of fraudulent, Kate.
So this is exactly why I didn't want to give Chris points, because I didn't think that Rod was going to go against what Chris was saying and have an argument, just a debate, and just I knew he was going to do something else. And so I think he is playing this game exactly the way that I thought that they were going to play this game tonight. So I certainly want to give Rod points for this. So I would say I feel very comfortable with 7 points on this.
All right. 7 points for Rod. How many
I
points
also
did you give Chris?
have to say, actually, I'm going to go 8 points, because I liked the reference of the restrooms as somebody who has to pee all the time. If I have an electric car, I need to have cleaner restrooms at these gas stations along the way. So I appreciate that. I feel like that was thrown in for me.
Play to the hearts and minds. Play to the hearts and minds.
Just because you drive an electric car means you need better restrooms than other people who can't maybe afford those electric cars. You can't go to the same gas station that those people can go to. Whoa.
Chris. Hey, Chris, I know you like to do the us versus them thing a lot, but I never fucking once said that, okay? I never said that. In general, as a person who uses the restroom all the time, I would like all of the restrooms to be all nice for all of the people, okay? I just like that it was thrown into Rod's argument. Simmer down, okay?
Hey, right. Chris, also she hasn't given you your points yet. So
I know I'm playing with fire, but Kate, don't judge me.
She's the judge. Kate, how many points are you going to give Chris as the judge?
I'm giving Chris 5 points because I like his initial argument.
Fair.
Chris, you are a lucky man. Yeah, that was fair. Fair point. All right, Nance, help us out here. Be the voice of reason here, Nance. Going well.
Cars not being electric cars not being you get every gas station has electric on them. So
Nance is going to have to figure out where he is in the world and maybe go back. But I believe what Nance said was he did agree with Rod at 3 points, and he did agree with Chris at 2 points there. So we'll figure that out. Nance, one more time, real quick. There you go.
Right.
Go ahead, Nance.
I was muted.
No, I muted you.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. It's all right. We're live. It's fine.
All
right, we're going to go on to the next take here. But let's look at the scoreboard real quick as I'm playing with the scoreboard here. We have Rod is up 11-7 over Chris right now. So, Chris, you do have some coming back to do. And we're going to actually have you. We're going to have Rod. Rod's going to go first next. Rod.
Yes.
We're going to stay in the transportation industry, because these have been in the news a lot lately. A lot of people have taken them. Some people love them. Some people hate them. Rod, I want your take on cruises.
Ooh, cruises. Okay. I love that you have come to me with cruises because cruises are suffering a fate that, quite frankly, any single thing that you have ever heard a bad review about in your entire life, I want you to stop and think about it right now. Put it in your mind, right? Think about a bad review that you read about this restaurant, or that you read about this particular store that you can go buy something from, or this tourist area that you can go to on vacation, right? What did you actually read? Bad service. So what you're talking about here is bad people. And the number one problem with the cruise ship is, I'm sorry, everybody out there, we all love being parents, but the problem with cruise ships are children. You are literally boarding a boat where there are thousands of children that are not your own. And I can't understand a more hellish scape than that. Everywhere you turn, there are children. There's ice cream cones being served to these little goblins. They can go get free drinks at every turn, filling them up with more and more sugar. They run in front of you to play things like miniature golf and basketball, and whatever video game rooms they have are booked up through the hilt, right? They're booked up through the hilt. You have to get a reservation before you even board the boat to get your kid to be able to play video games, but that's for another time. It's not cruise ships that are the problem. It's people that are the problem. So give me a vacation within 7 days that I can hit 4 countries, scuba dive, bungee jump, and get a bunch of food on the house. Cruise ships get a bad rap because people can suck.
Rod, I do want to make this very clear to the listeners who may not know or didn't recognize the voice at the beginning of the show. You do have a child, correct?
We do, who we took on a cruise last year.
Okay, I'm just making sure that is all on the
Jimmy,
record.
when I'm in the competition arena, okay, you have to come with the full force and the ability to win said competition. Okay, will I come home and hug my child and love him? Absolutely.
No,
but when I'm here in the arena, if I need to slice a kid's throat to win, we'll do it.
Okay, and that's going to be our new promo, so we really appreciate that, Mr. Morgan. Speaking of people who are kids at heart, Chris King, what is your thought on cruises?
I got to say one thing right off the top. I do believe that you can book a cruise that is 21 and over with no kids on there. So there are options available, Rod. But here's the thing. I don't want to be stuck on a boat with a crap load of people that I don't know, eating some 7-day-old shrimp, who knows from where. Who knows what type of weather you're going to encounter. That may not be a smooth cruise, all right? And you don't have a way to get off it. You can't get to shore real fast. So you're just kind of stuck there. And so if you get started on a bad day, day one, the rest of your whole week is ruined, all right? It is literally a floating city for consumers, and it's almost impossible to have any type of fun without being just surrounded by strangers. All right. And I don't know about everybody, but that's not always how I want to be 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And that's what you are on a cruise, surrounded by strangers you probably don't like.
Well, how big is the town you live in? How do you know every single person you encounter every day? And a cruise ship is a floating city? What are you living in, a 6-horse town down there in Bloomington? What are you doing?
Listen, I grew up in Bluffton, Indiana, all right? There were 62 kids in my graduating class, all right? There weren't that many people, and I at least knew them, and I still didn't want to be there all the time.
The second part of your take is weather. Weather can be bad, so cruise ships are bad? Wow, dynamite insight there, Chris. I should be sweeping this round too.
Listen, you don't want to be stuck on a boat in a storm or any kind of choppy weather, all right? It's not like when you go out on a lake on a little boat and weather comes in, you can get to shore or to your dock real quick. You're just stuck on that boat.
Yeah,
you don't have any kind of control.
Hey, Chris, say something about bathrooms. Say something about bathrooms to get Kate's vote. Say it.
They're not big enough on a cruise ship.
All right, Corey, you've heard from Chris. You've heard from Rod. Let's try to vote on this.
Chris is paranoid from remembering the Titanic going down when he was a young boy.
Yep, it's a valid point.
Cruise ships are a petri dish of germs, correct? Like you put that many people in one place and 4 walls, kind of basically, and you're gonna encounter a whole lot of nasty stuff that you might not have normally. So I'm out on cruise ships.
Okay, you're out on cruise ships. So who then do you think gave the worst
I'm gonna give Rod
take
5.
on that? Okay.
I'm gonna give Rod 5.
And Chris gets?
Chris gets. Let's give Chris 1 because he's really passionate.
Chris gets a passionate 1 there. Speaking of passion, I like our transitions here. Everyone's doing a fantastic job. Kate, what are your thoughts on Rod and Chris's takes on cruises?
I had the same thought that Corey did on the lack of passion from Chris. I felt like he was just kind of scrambling for the passion there. And so I would also only I'll give Chris 2 on this one because the point was still valid. Like that there are 21 and over ships, but like Rod's right. Kids are always the problem. And there's a reason that we only had one. And there's a reason that he acts like a 58-year-old man. It's because we've cultivated that. Van knows not to stand in line and get a virgin crazy daiquiri while the person in back of him just wants beer on a cruise ship. Okay. Like he knows these things. And so it's how you're raising your kids. Although I actually do enjoy cruises. I preferred Rod's take a little bit more. So I'll give Rod 5.
Rod gets 5. So Rod right now is 21-11. Chris, what are your thoughts right now being down 10 going into the last round?
I've actually never been on a cruise ship, so I had no idea what I was talking about anyway. So I'm happy to get any points right there.
How's that any different than any show you do?
I was going to explain what like a ship is. I know you're used to the rafts. So I am sorry if that was not fair. Chris, yeah, I feel that wasn't fair. So I'm going to give you a choice on this one. Do you want to talk about entertainment or do you want to talk about something we talk about a lot here, sports next?
Well, let's go entertainment.
Entertainment. Chris King, talk to me about your thoughts. We've got the Academy Awards. The Oscars are coming up. 2 movies had a big showing in the summer. Talk to me about Barbenheimer.
Oh, Barbenheimer. I'll say this. It is nice that we actually have like big box office movies in the lead for all this discussion with the Oscars. That being said, I have not seen either one of these movies. So it doesn't matter to me. I don't put one above the other or anything else like that. But let me just say this. It's nice to see the Oscars actually giving kudos to these movies that are box office successes. For so long, we've seen a whole lot of art house type movies that no one has ever seen be up for Best Picture and things like that, or movies that you really have to go and search for to be able to see. Like, I'm sorry, but some of those movies weren't playing in the small towns that I've lived in my life. So I'm just happy to see like big name movies that had big box office numbers get nominations.
I don't know what. Wait a minute. How can you be at the same time? I want big budget box office, but I'm small town folk hero. How do you have that in the same take?
Because it's Chris King.
Yeah, I can't see those little art house movies that were always nominated before.
You didn't see the big ones either, did you? And I quote in your comment, you said, I don't really care. Thanks, Chris. Appreciate that on the Take Show.
I didn't care which one of those movies would win. I'm just saying I'm happy they're both there.
Rod, talk to me about Barbenheimer.
See, the problem's never been the Academy Awards, right? The problem's never been the Academy Awards and that they should dumb down their process so that guys in the heartland like Chris cannot feel intimidated by art house movies. The problem were the big bad studios and the rich dudes that Chris is usually throwing his rocks at were making terrible movies. Now, listen, did I eat up some of the terrible movies like the reboot of Jurassic Park 3 different times and 10 Fast and the Furious movies and everything Tom Cruise does? Of course I do, because I want to be entertained and I make no bones about that. But those movies are terrible. They're not going to win Academy Awards. They're not going to go into the Smithsonian or the AFI Film Institute for greatest movies ever made. None of those are going to be confused for that kind of stuff. But now, all of a sudden, we have fewer movies being made. So you're seeing the better movies are actually making money because that's all we got, right? You're either making a reboot Marvel movie based on some Madam Web deal that nobody even knows anything about, or you're making Oppenheimer with a lot of actors that are chomping at the bit to get great parts. Like Matt Damon's not even in that movie all that much. This friggin' Matt Damon. The guy was Jason Bourne, and he's like, yep, I'll be this dude that has a weird mustache. Is kind of a stick in the mud general in Oppenheimer. So Chris, you're completely wrong, man. The movie industry has shrunk, and you should have been throwing your stones at the fat cats in Hollywood and not trying to paint yourself as Jimmy Stewart, small town hero.
Small town hero, Jimmy Stewart. Listen, you just said you want to be entertained when you go to the movies, right? That's what everybody wants. Why can't the Academy realize that the audience is always right when it comes to entertainment and the movies? All right. They're trying to keep saying that we know better. We know better than you dumb middle American people. All right. But we want to be entertained.
They do know
Entertain
better.
us.
Clearly, you just said all the movies were terrible, so they do know better. You just said it.
What movies are terrible? I
You
wasn't
said all
saying
the ones that were being made were terrible.
I didn't say that. I said the movies that are doing well need to be acknowledged, and that's what's actually happened this year. And even you want to talk about rehashes and everything else, like Barbie is just a remade, or it's taking a toy and making a movie out of it. I mean, it's kind of reverse what you normally see, but like it still had
You didn't even see it, man.
You know
Like,
what you're talking about.
It's Barbie.
I saw both movies.
Whoa,
I saw both
whoa,
movies.
you're
I saw
getting,
both.
you're getting
I'm
the
just-
fuck
I
out
went
of
to
you again,
theaters to
Chris.
see Oppenheimer. I took
I'm
the van
saying
to see
the
Oppenheimer.
Academy should acknowledge that the audience who wants to go see all these movies that you said were terrible, not me, you said that they were terrible, even though you go and watch them too,
Of course
because
they're
we want to
terrible. It
be
can be both
entertained.
things. We can be two things at once, Chris. I know that's hard for you, right? But back in the day, you used to churn butter and then you would stand there and still mind the children all at the same time, right? You can do two different things at one time. It's okay.
If movies are terrible, people don't go see them, right?
Clearly not. Clearly not. Clearly not. A lot of terrible movies have been seen by a lot of people. Even bad movies have people that go see them. You don't know about anybody else's taste, but you tried to paint yourself as thinking that you did earlier.
And that's what you're doing, saying the Academy
I
knows
didn't.
better.
The Academy is. I'm backing up the Academy. They've clearly already set themselves up for hundreds of years as the arbiter of movie taste. Not me, guy who works for the post office in Granger, Indiana. The Academy does that.
Wow. That's a lot to take in. A little personal there. Kind of like it, not gonna lie. Kate looks like she's thinking real hard about this.
and because here's my problem. You didn't do your take. You did your okay, Chris, stop it. Movies are bad, but like nothing about Barbie and Oppenheimer.
You caught me.
Okay.
Go.
Leave him on a high note. I didn't figure I had to drop my take. I'd already just slayed Chris right there. Why drop my take?
I'm a rule follower.
My take is I think that it's cool to see a movie like Oppenheimer for a lot of different reasons, right? It's historical, it raises a lot of questions, and it takes an event that we know exactly what's going to happen. And I'm still on the edge of my seat. Like I'm sitting there in the theaters knowing full well that the bomb's going to go off for the test, right? But I mean, like, I'm just absolutely digging my nails in, right? So it was just it's just really cool. And then I loved the idea of Barbie, right? And then what it was about, basically on a complete opposite other end of the spectrum from Oppenheimer, right? But at the same time, they both coexisted. They brought all types of different people to the theaters, right? And Chris is wrong in saying that just because a lot of people come to theaters, the Academy has to turn to it. You need to make movies that appeal to lots of people, but still are good. And that's the trick. And that's what was cool about Barbie and Oppenheimer this summer. It wasn't just the perfect storm of marketing. It was you found the right kind of movies that appealed and brought audiences in, but also were good.
All right, Kate. That was Rod's take. You heard Chris's take. How many points is Chris getting this round?
Chris is getting 1 point for this round. And
Yikes.
the only reason he's getting one is because I do agree with the basic baby fundamental point at the beginning of it's nice to see movies that people have actually seen, blockbusters being nominated for Oscars. I do enjoy that because you have a bigger audience who can actually enjoy the Oscars and an award show that we've watched for years and years that is quite meaningful to us. So I like that point. What I can't believe, though, Chris, is that, first of all, you haven't seen either of these movies, but most of all, Oppenheimer. Like, didn't you go to high school with Robert Oppenheimer? Like, I would thought you'd want to see his story told on the big screen. That's fine.
I plan on watching it, but like it's an historical event. We know what happened, so it wasn't like I need to necessarily see it. I mean, both of these movies are basically made off of previously well-known, established properties. All right, like technically, so that
hot Oppenheimer IP in the streets, man. Variety was talking about that for years. Who's going to get their hands on that Oppenheimer IP?
Look how many people missed out because it was obviously worth a lot. All right.
I'm just disappointed that you didn't see either of these movies.
Disappointed too.
Yeah, I hate that you're pigeonholing yourself into this small town guy, like just this simpleton who's never been anywhere. Like, you've lived through 2 world wars. Like,
well, and the Civil War as well. So I mean, the Civil
War, yeah. I mean, seriously, like, so I liked Rod coming at him, but then I also liked Rod's take coming back. I'm giving Rod 7.
I don't like the fact that Rod got to give his take after you called him out when you were supposed to be judging him then.
That's a valid point.
Because he didn't do the thing. Because I fucking do what I want.
I thought you were a rule follower. That's what you told him.
Chris, and I wanted to hear the rebuttal to the actual question, and I got that. But now
Chris, I am a rule follower.
You gave a really shitty response. That's not on me. That's just not on me.
Valid.
So how many points does Chris get on his real shitty response then, Kate?
The one. Still the one.
Okay, just the one. Okay, Chris, I am going to take 2 points off of Rod because he did have to be prompted to actually give his take and do what we're supposed to do for that. Nance was so disgusted by your takes that he just left. He didn't even care. Nance,
here he is.
I texted Nance. I also texted Chris. Chris needs to look at his text. I did text Nance. I know you're back. Can you give us the points for Rod and Chris here on their takes?
On this one, so I'm going to give him 10 points.
Wow.
The Academy should be thinking about who has seen these movies and which movies have been seen the most when judging them, because it's a movie and then it's in subtitles or something, just something you're not into. It's kind of disappointing, and then you're not into seeing who wins because you don't care. So if the Academy still wants to be and stuff like that, it needs to appeal to people.
Okay. How many points for Rod there, Corey?
And I haven't seen a movie.
Yeah, Corey's disgusted again.
I think he said 20. I think he said 20.
Did he say 20 for Rod? I think he said 2.
Said 20.
I think he said 2 for Rod. So two points for Rod there. Let's go to the scoreboard here. It is 28-22, Rod over Chris. And I'm feeling generous. Chris King, where are you? Are you still there?
Oh, yeah.
Are you ready?
Give it to me.
Here's the final take. Come up with a take on something. What do you got to take on?
It's a freebie. I get to choose.
It's a freebie right now.
Wait a minute. He should have to risk points. He should have to risk points here. He should have to risk points. If he's going to be able to make up the take, he's got to sway you guys on it, right? So the only way he gets the points that he risks is if he gets all 3 of you to agree with this take.
So this is this our so
this is this is bonus. This is trying to get you.
So this is like our final round.
Right,
so I get to. I was trying not to,
but not Jeopardy, because that is a trademark.
That's nothing like Jeopardy, right?
Nothing.
It's not like that at all. But this is like a final round for a game show with a typical wager at the end. What's the point total again? Can you show me that there, Jimmy?
It is 28-22. You are losing right now.
Okay.
So actually, what I need you to do is I need you to text me how many points you're going to wager. Do not tell Rod how many points you're going to wager, because I'm going to give Rod a chance to also get points.
Now, let me ask you this: is whatever category I end up selecting for both of us to give that take on?
It is correct.
Way.
Yes,
I'm going to make my own take just like you did.
Sure, why not? Whatever.
Oh,
We're going.
all
We're
right,
going
all right.
light.
No. I'll top his take. I'll top his take.
I know
We can
you're going to
take the
top his
category.
take.
Yeah.
This is the see. We want to have entertainment here, and if he's got the same take you do, it's not going to be fun. But I know he's going to pick something that's going to tick you off. So that's why this is going to be good.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Oh yeah. Okay. Okay. I am texting you my wager now.
Okay.
Oh, I guess I got to do that as well. Okay.
Yep. Text
When-
me your wager, Rod.
Wait, Rod. Since you are in the lead, you do not have to text your wager until after you hear the topic.
Okay. I got to get something for being ahead of you already. I suppose.
I know. I'm trying to be fair minded here.
Yeah.
Do the judges have any dispute with that?
No, we don't. Go.
No.
All right. I have sent my wager in secretly to our executive producer, and
You can't mail it. Text me.
You just put the
Dude.
pigeon out
I
the
listen.
window.
I used a bird. It should be there quick. It's a sparrow. It has a pretty quick flight time. Okay, so the topic is zombie apocalypse survival, specifically initial 2 weeks.
Okay. What is your take on the
That's
zombie
awesome. I love the
apocalypse
category.
survival, especially the first 2 weeks? What is your take on that, Chris? What is
All
your
right, I'm
controversial
giving
take?
Rod a time frame to send in his wager before I start giving my take.
Very specific. It's always good when takes are
Very
hypothetical too.
I think it's important.
All right.
Probably closer than we all think, right, Chris?
You never know. I get
All
more
right.
and more nervous. Okay, Rod, have you sent in your wager?
Yes, he did. Let's go.
I have.
Okay, so God forbid, right? God forbid that this does take place, but let's say it happens, all right? And we, the general public, have finally been let know that this is what's going on. And that doesn't happen right away, unfortunately for us. So chances are stuff has already started to take place probably at least a couple weeks before. So you have to assume that this thing is more widespread than possible. So you have really two things you have to do in those first initial weeks. Make sure you have the food and water to last you probably longer, but at least those first 2 weeks, and then find some place to bunker down. So you got to be handy with a hammer and nail. You got to be able to board up your windows. You got to be able to secure your household or wherever you may be. Corey's case, barn, I don't know. You have to be safe because that first few weeks there's going to be a lot of craziness and a lot of extra looting, and then after you really get secure and you do have your food. Now, God forbid, if you don't have enough food and you have to get out there, be prepared to actually steal the food you need. All right, this is the zombie apocalypse. I am sorry, some walls will have to be broken. You are fighting for your family's survival, so you need to go to the places that have food. But I'm going to tell you, be very wary of the very large stores. They will be a massive looting spree, and they may be more dangerous than going to some smaller type local.
Is this a take or a survival guide? What's happening here?
I was gonna. The clock is ticking, Chris.
Be safe. Then that's what I'm trying to say.
That's his take.
I mean, you gotta. Most important thing is to keep safe and keep in a safe location that you can actually guard and not allow anybody in.
Okay, so
This was
Rod,
the oldest
in this
fan rant I've ever
hypothetical
heard in my
take,
life.
in this hypothetical zombie apocalypse in the first 2 weeks, hypothetically, what is your take on that?
Okay, first off, this is absolutely ridiculous. All right. The idea that somehow either the dead is going to be reanimated and they're going to be interested in eating the flesh of the people, or a virus is going to turn everyone on the planet into flesh eaters is absolutely ridiculous. Okay. And Chris's essential take of be safe is all 100% fine. That's great. But not all of us are good with the steel, if you know what I mean. All right. Some of us are geeks on the street. Okay. So we got to figure out ways to be handy in other ways. All right. So I say we look to the cable classic that all of us have grown up on, and that is Shawshank Redemption. All right. Let's be honest with you. In the situation that Chris is painting, which I just told all of us is absolutely ludicrous, but if I'm to play along in this scenario, and I'm the one that created this game show, so I might as well play along in this scenario, It'll be a bit like prison, right? And who's somebody that survived prison pretty well? It wasn't a big time jacked up beast or a great athlete or somebody who was good at numerous things other than procuring items that people need, and that is red. So here's what you do, Chris. You can spend all that time in the 2 weeks that you want boarding up your house and going out and hunting squirrels and gathering nuts and going to the backwood country stores of the small towns that you live in to gather up the kerneled corn and the cans and the MREs ready to eat. You can do all that stuff. What I'll be doing is going to get Twinkies and deodorant and batteries and weird things like that, right? And I'll be stocking them all up in my little pack, and I'll be like a little pack rat, and I'll be rolling into town with little things that you never thought about having when you were beating boards into the wall and stacking up all your supplies with Ma and Pa down in the basement. All right. I was getting together things that people are going to need. And you don't have to know how to do all those things you said, Chris, but you better know somebody that does. So I'm going to be working my social skills, right? I'm going to be like a court jester. I'm going to be rolling up on these dudes who got barbed wire wrapped around their bats and are taking out zombies around the corner. I'm going to be rolling in like, hey, my man, what can I do for you? What's the deal with airline food, right? Whatever they want to hear, I'm going to be dropping it on them, and they're going to be taking care of your boy, all right? And the next thing you know, they're going to say, you know what we need? We need entertainment for our people here in this little colony that we've built up. We're going to set up a loudspeaker area for you, Rod, and you're going to go on air broadcasting to the people day by day. So do what you're good at, Chris. Make yourself useful. You don't have to learn all these weird survival skills.
And that is the final round, final take from Rod. Corey.
Wait.
All right.
I'm sorry, but the fact that Rod thinks he is surviving anything by rolling down the street when it's a zombie apocalypse, Rod Morgan rolling through zombie hordes like it's nothing.
I explained that I'll be rolling with somebody else. I'm not going by myself.
I ain't handy with the steel. I'm just a geek in the street, able to just roll through zombie hordes. I got your batteries. I got your deodorant. That ain't happening either. That's ridiculous.
Clearly, I'm not rolling down the street by myself. What part did you not gather about me making myself useful to strong Jack Reacher types, big dudes that can take care of things?
I don't know, Chris. I think you might have saved a little face there with that final rebuttal. I want to go to Nance real quick. Nance, what do you think? How many points? Who? And Nance is gone. That's how we thought about Rod. That's fine. Kate, thoughts on what we just heard from Rod?
Oh my God, I loved every piece of that entire argument, conversation, hot take. I loved the category, mostly because I have been friends with Chris for over 20 years and have had this discussion in depth, have seen the plan in writing. Like, know what plans for in the zombie apocalypse. I also deeply appreciate how many times Chris said the words "God forbid" as he was giving his rebuttal. Even though he's begging for it.
He's definitely begging for it.
How deeply committed you are to the plan and laying out safety and survival. And yes, I just had planning written down for you and like having everything ready and the boards and the nails, like very, very, very important things. And so I really thought that you were going to have it, Chris. I did. I was like, yep, like this is his topic. This is his thing. And then Rod comes in with his batteries and your kernels of corn and is like, hey, I have a plan to use my skill set to my advantage. Now, the one thing that got you though, Rod, the one thing that got you and why I'm going to give this to Chris is because Chris specified in the first 2 weeks. So I don't know how you're going to find.
That's fair. That's fair.
Like you're going to just be cultivating.
I'm gonna have to be hunkered down for 2 weeks. Basically, I'm just gonna have to hide for 2 weeks. You're right. No, I didn't. I left that part out. That's fair.
So that is where I would give Chris. I'm gonna give Chris a solid 8 on this.
Okay, so here's the deal, though. You think Chris won that argument? Chris and Rod. Rod bet 15 points, so he's going to lose 15 points on that.
I thought I had
Now
28.
I didn't give Rod his points though either, right? So like, should I do that before you say Chris's?
No, it was one of us had to win the argument. Remember, that was all there was.
It
wasn't
was
points on
just
the round.
one
Yeah.
argument. Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
I thought I
And
had 28.
Chris, 15, 21, and then Rod, I do owe you one. Chris wins 43-14. Chris had the hottest takes tonight. Chris,
See,
take your victory
Sure
lap.
did.
listen. I walked. I walked in. I
You're
walked
the
Rod.
judge.
Entire point of this exercise. We've been the entire point of this exercise.
I walked Rod into a trap on that last question by adding specifically the first 2 weeks. I knew he couldn't just rely on that aspect, and I knew Kate liked to live on technicality, so I was playing a very smart strategy there to walk Rod into a trap to give me the ultimate victory.
Listen, we got nobody live here right now to back me up, but I guarantee anybody listening to this podcast is going to be way more entertained by every single answer I drop than any single one that Chris gave. And I thought that was the general idea of this exercise.
We have 3 people live, and one of the 3 agrees with it. Corey Nance, obviously, his video's not working, but he did agree with Chris as well. I am shocked, Rod. I loved how you brought in the red aspect of that, because anyone who's ever seen a movie has seen Shawshank Redemption and knows exactly who he is, knows exactly what he was doing, and you are the perfect person for that. I would have never thought of that. I would have given you more credit for that. And I think you could have done most of it in 2 weeks. I'm not going to lie. It's you, right? I mean, let's be honest. It's you. He is not
I'm
happy.
angry. I don't like losing. I'm angry. I came up with this game. This is my damn podcast network, and somehow I lost. I'm angry.
All right, Kate, thank you very much for being a judge tonight. Really appreciate it. Nance, we love you too, bud. I don't understand how as soon as you hit record, everything goes wrong. And I do apologize for that, Nance, because you are one of our, you are our number one listener, and we love to have you on when you can, especially when you get Rod mad. And Rod's mad enough, I think, right now.
Chris, congratulations. Listen, congratulations. I may be angry, and I'm more angry at myself. I'm certainly not angry at the lovely Mrs. Morgan. I'm certainly not angry at one of my oldest friends in the entire world, my right-hand man in this podcast network, Jimmy Jam Riska. And I'm certainly not mad at you,
We're
Chris.
getting yelled at later, aren't we?
I'm just mad. I'm just mad that I lost. But Chris, congratulations to you, because I'm trying to teach to the Vanimal, even though I was accused of being a somewhat maybe not great father at the beginning of this podcast for attacking children on a cruise ship. I'm trying to teach
I was asking questions.
I'm trying to teach to the Vanimal that we can accept defeat, and I will accept defeat this evening, but I will admit, because I'm all about truth here on the network, that I'm angry at myself.
Chris, take us home.
Goodbye, internet. That's all I got.